I've always been straightforward since I was a child. When I was brought back to the James family by my biological father, the fake heiress Olivia James was nestled in my mother's arms, crying pitifully. I took my sister's place and enjoyed 18 years of a good life, while she suffered in the countryside. It's all my fault. I should just leave the James family and not disturb your family reunion. My mother held her silently, tears streaming down her face. My father looked at me, hesitating to speak, while my biological brother glared at me angrily. Lucy, as soon as you come back, you want to drive Olivia away, you troublemaker. Wearing faded jeans and a shirt with frayed cuffs, I stood under the dazzling crystal chandelier, completely bewildered. Good heavens, I thought the James family was a wealthy household in J City. Can't they afford to raise one more daughter? The thick-ass province dialect accent fell, and the luxurious double-height living room instantly became so quiet you could hear a pin drop. My well-maintained biological mother, with clear eyes, only after a long moment turned her gaze to Olivia James. Right, it's just an extra pair of chopsticks. No one said you have to leave. Olivia James, her tear stains not yet dry, couldn't find words for a moment. Seeing her pitiful look as if she had been wronged made me furious. I couldn't help but curl my lips and say, as soon as I come back, you start acting like you're on the verge of death, as if I'm the one driving you away. You're making me look like the villain here. You city folks sure have a lot of tricks up your sleeves. Olivia James's pretty little face turned pale, and her eyes looked pleadingly toward my biological brother, William James. William James had always doted on his sister since childhood and instinctively defended her. No, Olivia didn't mean any harm. She was just afraid. I didn't give him a chance to explain further. Afraid of what? Afraid of suffering hardships in the rural areas of S province. Well, she should be afraid. I was abandoned by her child-stealing biological mother and left to endure 18 years of hardship in the rural areas of S province. I struggled just to have enough food and clothing. If it weren't for the family who found me and had a kind heart, I probably would have died from exhaustion or illness long ago. As these words fell, the living room once again sank into an eerie silence. My mother was the first to break down. Tears streamed from her eyes as she let go of Olivia James, rushed over, and hugged me tightly. My poor daughter, how could you have suffered so much? You were born to live a life of comfort. William James, who had been somewhat aggressive just moments before, was momentarily stunned and murmured, I had no idea you had such a difficult life. Father turned his face away, silently lit a cigarette, and took a deep drag. Olivia James was at a loss, her eyes red, biting her lip lightly. I'm sorry, sister, it's all my fault. I looked up at her in confusion. Little sister, what kind of drama are you adding for yourself here? Did I say it was your fault? I was talking about your human trafficking biological mother who's no good. From the moment I walked in, no one has said it was your fault. And I never said I wanted to kick you out. Who are you putting on that sad face for? It's like I'm the one bullying you. Clearly, you're the one living in luxury, while I'm the one eating scraps. Shouldn't I be the one crying? Mother gently stroked my hair, her heart aching. Good girl, cry if you need to, let it all out. From now on, it's all good days ahead. I blinked my eyes hard and sighed in frustration. I can't cry, I'm hungry. When are we eating? My mother smiled affectionately, took my hand, and led me to the dining room. As we walked, she said, we're eating right now. Mom doesn't know what you like to eat yet. Later, you can tell me, and I'll have the housekeeper make more of your favorite dishes from now on. William James scratched his head awkwardly, turned to put an arm around Olivia James's shoulder, and comforted her softly. Lucy just came back, so Mom and Dad are naturally excited about her. Don't take it to heart. Get along well with her in the future. Let's go eat first. Olivia James nodded obediently but lowered her head with a resentful expression. I sat at the dining table trying my best to maintain politeness, but my stomach was growling so loudly that I couldn't hold back any longer. My mother kept putting food into my bowl, repeatedly saying, eat slowly, don't choke. William James had probably never seen this kind of table manners in his life and was momentarily stunned. Father also looked at me with a complicated expression. Olivia James ate her food in small, elegant bites, with a calm and composed demeanor. After just a few mouthfuls, she set down her chopsticks and dabbed the corners of her mouth with a napkin. With an innocent and naive expression, she said, Mom and Dad, don't blame sister. Although her table manners are a bit rough, it's not her fault since she grew up in the countryside and never learned proper dining etiquette. I paused mid-chew with a piece of braised pork in my mouth. And a familiar, green tea, vibe hit me. I sneered inwardly and spoke nonchalantly. Yeah, your biological mother was really something, deliberately abandoning me in the poorest places. Although my adoptive parents were good people, they were extremely poor. Just having enough to eat was a luxury. How could they care about manners? During the famine years when I was little, we didn't just eat chaff and wild vegetables. We even had to fight over tree roots. You, sister, have been accustomed to a life of luxury and have never experienced such hardships, so of course, you've never seen such rough behavior. Olivia James was left stunned, her face turning pale as she stood frozen in place. Mom started wiping her tears again, saying, "My poor child, just thinking about all the suffering you've endured breaks my heart." I casually picked up another piece of braised pork, its aroma making my eyelids twitch with delight. "It's fine, Mom. As long as you and Dad don't mind my lack of manners, it's already tough enough for a poor family to make ends meet. Things like etiquette and dignity are higher-level pursuits. I'll get there slowly." Mom lovingly placed a large chicken drumstick in my bowl. "How could we mind? Your dad and I only feel for you more. How could we blame you? If there's anything you're not used to since you just got here, take your time adjusting. Our precious daughter's happiness is what matters most." As she spoke, Mom glanced meaningfully at Olivia James. Though she didn't say a word, Olivia James noticed and nervously lowered her gaze. Under the table, her diamond-studded crystal nails dug deeply into her palm. William James also showed a hint of melancholy, silently placing a large shrimp into my bowl. After dinner, I started packing my things to settle in. And the family took me to choose a room. The James family is quite influential in J City, living in a 3-story detached villa. The entire second floor is dedicated to bedrooms, and my mother took me to visit each one. Honestly, they were all quite nice, decorated elegantly and kept very clean. Just as I was hesitating over which one to choose, Olivia James started with her sweet talk again. She stepped forward, held my hand affectionately, and said, "Sister, why don't you take my room? It gets the best sunlight on the second floor. Mom says a girl's room should be filled with sunshine, even though I really like it too." But, as she spoke, Olivia's eyes welled up with tears again. "But you are Mom and Dad's biological daughter. I shouldn't be taking your room. I can just move into the storage room at the end of the hallway." My father patted her shoulder, both touched and a little heartbroken, and said, "Olivia, you're so thoughtful. It puts my mind at ease to see you getting along so well with your sister." Olivia James nodded, her clear black and white eyes flashing with a hint of pride. "Oomph," pretending to be magnanimous and sensible while also playing the victim to gain sympathy. Just another classic manipulative move. I'm straightforward and say exactly what I think. There's a whole floor of empty rooms in this villa. Why would I need to stay in your room? Olivia James looked at me with a pitiful expression. "I just thought that since you're the biological daughter, you should have the best room." I frowned. "So you're going to live in the storage room?" "Every room we just saw was clean and tidy. Even if you gave up your room for me, why would you need to move into the storage room?" From the moment I stepped in, you've been playing the victim. First crying about leaving this family, then offering me your room while you move into the storage room. What's the deal, little sister? Are you trying to get into J City Film Academy? Olivia James probably didn't expect me to call her out so bluntly. She stammered, unable to respond. Instead, William James instinctively defended the sister he had known for over a decade. "Olivia meant well, Lucy. Do you have to be so aggressive?" I raised an eyebrow with mixed feelings. Her good intentions involve making a grand gesture I never asked for, then winning your sympathy while making you think she's being mistreated. Also, you turn around and blame me like this. William James was stunned, his gaze wandering blankly between me and Olivia James's faces. Mother had already darkened her expression, giving Olivia James a stern look, and the atmosphere suddenly turned eerie. Instead, I boldly pushed my meager luggage into Olivia James's room. "Since I'm already stuck with this reputation, I might as well take this room. At least I won't have endured all that sarcasm for nothing." Olivia James stared in disbelief as the butler and servants moved her belongings out. I nodded with satisfaction as I looked at the large room. "By the way, Mom and Dad, how are my transfer procedures coming along?" My mother affectionately tapped my nose. "It's all settled. You'll report to school tomorrow. You'll be attending the same school as your brother and sister, so you can look out for each other." I'm full of anticipation. A poor student from S Province is about to experience the Beijing exam. what a blissful experience this is. The next day, as soon as I entered the classroom, the teacher asked me to introduce myself to the classmates and then assigned me to an empty seat next to a boy. The boy was buried in sleep, completely unaware that he had gained a desk mate. The next class happened to be a surprise math quiz. So I mustered all my focus. By the time I finished the test, I was practically in tears. It was indeed the Beijing exam, truly living up to its reputation. Just as I was secretly excited, Olivia James swayed over to me with a few of her girlfriends. Olivia James said with a sincere expression, "Sister, can you keep up? The quiz from last class was a bit challenging. Are you struggling?" A girl with a ponytail beside her covered her mouth and sneered, "Why even ask? A country bumpkin from the countryside. Who knows if she's ever had a proper education?" I heard the educational resources in the rural areas of S province are backward. There's no way she can keep up with us. She's only in our class because she's a James family daughter, but she'll just drag down the class average. Sophia, don't talk about our sister like that. Olivia James tugged at Sophia's sleeve. She just got here, so it's normal that she's having trouble keeping up. We should help her more. The girl named Sophia snorted disdainfully. Olivia, you're just too kind-hearted, and she's ungrateful. She took your room as soon as she got back. I picked up the textbook on the table and fanned it, saying, "Get away from me, you reek of stupidity." Sophia immediately flew into a rage. "You country bumpkin, how dare you insult me? Hey, this temper of mine, who do you think you're messing with?" I kicked over the desk, and the classroom instantly erupted in screams. My desk mate, who had been sleeping with his head down, jumped up abruptly. "Holy crap, is it an earthquake?" I grabbed Sophia by the collar of her school uniform. "Listen, girl, if you're that bored, why don't you go shovel the cow dung at the village entrance? If you keep spouting nonsense, I'll take you to the toilet to rinse your mouth out." Olivia James forcefully pulled me away from protecting Sophia. "Sister, please don't be like this." Sophia was only speaking up for me because I didn't have the patience to let her finish. I shoved her abruptly. "Speaking up for you, what injustice have you suffered? You, a fake daughter born to a human trafficker. If it weren't for your damned mother swapping us in our swaddling clothes, how could I, the true daughter, have suffered for 18 years? Olivia James froze, the color draining from her face. "Lucy, you," the classroom erupted in an uproar. "So Olivia James is the fake heiress. Oh my God. And it was Olivia James's own mother who switched them. That makes her a human trafficker. Lucy has really been wronged." The parents felt that after all they had raised Olivia James for so many years and didn't want her to face criticism, so they didn't reveal the truth about the switched identities of the real and fake heiresses. Instead, they only announced to the public that they had found their long-lost daughter. Olivia James probably thought I wouldn't go against our parents' wishes, which is why she dared to show off in front of me like that. She never expected that I would expose the matter publicly. Sophia clearly didn't expect things to turn out this way, but she still stubbornly retorted, "So what? Olivia has been with the James family for so many years. Her manners and grace are top-notch. What's more, she excels academically and has always been first in her class. How can a country bumpkin like you?" Raised in the countryside, even compared to Olivia, I looked at this girl with her twisted sense of values in disbelief and said, "Her mother helped her steal my life, allowing her to enjoy the living and educational conditions that should have been mine, and now you're standing there, looking down on me, the victim, and claiming I'm not as good as her, the beneficiary. Girl, did your sense of values get eaten by a dog along with your brain?" Sophia was left speechless by my retort. After stewing for a long time, she finally snapped, "What's the use of all that talk? A country bumpkin will always be a country bumpkin. Just wait until the quiz results come out. You'll see that someone like you is nothing but a barnyard chicken compared to Olivia, who's a phoenix." I sneered coldly. "Is that so? Indeed, an old hen forced her egg into a phoenix's nest. It's just a pity that, despite being raised in luxury for over a decade, her grades might still fall short of this mud-legged one's." Sophia let out a disdainful sneer. "What a pipe dream. Olivia has always been first in the class and has never slipped." I shrugged. "Well, we'll just have to wait and see." Just as we were speaking, the class monitor hurried in from outside, shouting, "The results are out, the results are out." While posting the grade list on the wall, Sophia crossed her arms and looked at me smugly. "The results are out, you country bumpkin. Soon you'll realize that someone like you is nothing but an ugly duckling in front of us." I shrugged indifferently. "Is that so? the crowd surged forward, with Sophia leading the charge as she squeezed her way to the front. Before she could even make out the names on the score sheet, she heard a wave of exclamations erupt from the crowd. Holy crap, a perfect score. Holy crap, am I seeing this right? This test is so hard. And someone actually got a perfect score. Sophia said with a smug expression, Olivia is really amazing, she actually got a perfect score on such a difficult exam. Before Olivia James could even feel proud, another wave of jeers erupted from the crowd. It's not Olivia James, look carefully, will you? The one who got a perfect score is Lucy. Olivia froze and cried out in disbelief. How is that possible? That outburst completely shattered her gentle and amiable persona. But Olivia James had no time to care about anything else at that moment. She pushed her way through the crowd without regard for her image, and there, at the top of the posted score sheet, was clearly written, Lucy, 150 points. Olivia James murmured, impossible, how could it be? She's from the countryside. How could she get a perfect score on such a difficult exam? The classmates excitedly gathered around, exclaiming, Oh my God, Lucy, you're amazing. I couldn't even understand the last big question, and you actually solved it. Not only did I do it, but I got it right. Oh my God, with so many people surrounding me, I felt a bit embarrassed instantly and could only smile while scratching my head, saying, after all, I used to be a student from S Province. That's right, S Province uses the national exam, which is much harder than our Beijing exam. The real heiress has such good grades. Olivia James is probably going to lose her status. The classmates chattered around me, and Olivia James looked upset, tears welling up in her eyes before she rushed out the door just before they fell. Just kidding, I was the top student in my grade even in S Province, where competition is as fierce as thousands of troops crossing a single log bridge, let alone the relatively easier Beijing exams. My desk mate, who had been disturbed from his peaceful sleep, finally felt relieved, rubbing his eyes. He looked at the score sheet in disbelief and said, the prodigy is actually my desk mate. His hair was a messy bird's nest on top of his head, and he looked innocent as he said, Big Shot, my name is Eric, what should I call you, Big Shot? I waved my hand with a laugh. Lucy, can you explain how you solved that last problem? Honestly, I didn't really understand it either. Eric is a bit of a natural airhead, completely oblivious to any conflicts or disputes around him, every day. He only cares about two things, math problems and sleep. Honestly, since coming to J City, I've met a lot of people, but spending time with Eric is the most comfortable. Although everyone at this school comes from a well-off background, Eric doesn't have the arrogant, condescending attitude typical of kids from wealthy families. Instead, he has a kind of pure, innocence. After a few days of peaceful and stable classes, my academic performance had made me somewhat famous in the school. And the number of people looking for trouble had significantly decreased. Every time class ended, my desk was surrounded by people asking questions. Olivia James had also been quiet for a few days. I thought she had finally given up, until I was cornered in the restroom by a group of troublemaking girls. I looked at the two girls in front of me, with their hair dyed in various colors and their shirts rolled up above their navels. No reason, just here to have some fun with you. The girl with yellow hair next to me had a nose stud that glinted. I heard you're new here, and your grades are pretty good. A country bumpkin like you, acting all tough, huh? While she was speaking, the blonde girl reached out and shoved me. Since you're new here, I suggest you keep a low profile and don't mess with people you shouldn't. I was so angry I laughed. I've been diligently attending classes and studying honestly. Who exactly have I offended? My temper flared. And I couldn't hold back. I grabbed the hand she used to shove me and twisted it hard. A scream like a slaughtered pig instantly echoed through the cramped bathroom. The blonde girl's face turned pale. Do you even know who I am? How dare you treat me like this? Let go now. You're going to break my hand. How am I supposed to know who you are? You started a fight without even explaining yourself. Now tell me clearly. Who have I offended by quietly focusing on my studies? Dyeing your hair blonde and thinking you're some kind of gangster. You're so young, yet you refuse to learn what's right. Just looking at your edgy, non-mainstream style makes me angry. The blonde girl screamed even more pitifully. Seeing the situation turn bad, the red-haired girl tried to step in and help, attempting to grab my hair, but her big hand swung through the air and caught nothing. The redhead was shocked. I sneered and did the same, grabbing her messy red hair. instantly creating a duet of pig-slaughtering screams. Bet you didn't expect that students in S province aren't allowed to have long hair. Finally, under my forceful suppression, the two delinquent girls begged for mercy. I let go and brushed off the broken strands of hair. Now, tell me, who sent you? Redhead complained while smoothing his few strands of hair. How come your grip is so strong? Blondie also chimed in softly. Yeah, my hand is almost broken. Heh, I didn't spend 18 years breaking cornstalks in S province for nothing. After some back and forth, I found out they were the notorious Big Sisters from a nearby technical school. The reason they came after me was that someone had paid them to teach me a lesson. How outrageous. I grabbed both of them by the hair and dragged them straight to the office. It happened to be the long break, and the hallway was bustling with noise and excitement. As I dragged along two students from another school dressed in eccentric outfits, I attracted quite a few stares. The homeroom teacher came out looking confused, and seeing my stance, was also taken aback. Student Lucy, what is this? I said loudly. These two are from the neighboring vocational school, bought off by Olivia James to teach me a lesson. Damn, you people in J City are so rotten. I'm just trying to study properly. Who did I offend that thugs are getting paid to come after me? Are your school leaders going to do something or not? As I spoke, I started crying, forcing out a few tears. The homeroom teacher panicked. There's such a thing, go and call Olivia James for me. Not long after, Olivia James walked over, her face pale, and her legs went weak as soon as she saw the situation. Her legs may be weak, but her mouth is still sharp. Tears welled up in her eyes as she covered her mouth with one hand. What does this have to do with me, sister? I know you don't like me, but you can't slander me like this. Do you really have to drive me out of the James family to be satisfied? I immediately flared up. Stop pretending to be innocent. Do you think I don't have evidence? Just as she finished speaking, our parents and brother hurriedly pushed through the crowd. It turned out that the homeroom teacher, seeing that it involved me and Olivia James, decided it would be best to let our parents handle the matter face to face to avoid any misunderstandings. My mother grabbed my hand and looked me over anxiously. Are you okay, sweetie? Are you hurt? I shook my head. No, they aren't as strong as I am. Mother wiped away her tears and smiled, then turned a reproachful gaze toward Olivia James. What's going on? Seeing that mother's first concern was for me, Olivia James's expression had already soured. Now, faced with mother's accusatory tone, the faint sadness in her eyes was mixed with a hint of genuine hurt. Mom, I didn't do it. You can't just jump to conclusions just because I'm not your biological daughter. I've grown up by your side. Don't you know me by now? My brother hesitated again. Let's get the facts straight first, so we don't wrong Olivia. I simply grabbed the two delinquent girls by the shoulders and pushed them forward. Tell the truth, or you'll regret it. Olivia James rolled her eyes and said pitifully, look at how my sister treats them. It's obvious they're being threatened. Their words can't be trusted. Before I could even speak, the two delinquent girls couldn't hold back. What are you talking about? We've been in this game for years, and we own up to what we do. Do you think we didn't keep any evidence? Olivia James was taken aback, and then she saw the leader of the group, the red-haired guy, pull out his phone and tap a few times, releasing a recording. This is 100,000. Go teach that new girl Lucy a lesson, make her behave. How dare a country bumpkin like her try to steal my spotlight everywhere? This is what happens when you cross me. I'll give you another 100,000 once it's done. The outdoor environment was a bit noisy, but Olivia James's voice was clearly audible. Olivia James instantly turned pale, and William James looked in disbelief at the sister he had grown up with, whom he had always thought was the kindest and gentlest. Olivia, it was really you. Her mother looked at her with disappointment. You're the daughter I've watched grow up. I thought you were kind and well behaved, but I never expected you to do something like this. You've let me down so much. With the recording and witnesses, the evidence was undeniable. Olivia James's legs gave way, and she fell to her knees with a thud. Mom, I was wrong. Ever since my sister came back, she took my room and the love of my parents, and even my brother has been taking care of her. I was just afraid that you would only love her and no longer like me, afraid that you would kick me out of the James family. I couldn't bear to leave you all. Olivia James was born beautiful, and after being raised in the James family with such luxury and care over the years, she had grown even more delicate, with her reddened eyes and tears. She looked utterly pitiful, like a pear blossom bathed in rain, eviting sympathy from others. I watched her performance speechlessly. What are you pretending for, sis? Did the James family treat you poorly? You were the one crying and insisting on giving me the room, so why are you crying now? Was the generosity you showed when you gave me the room just an act, or are you deliberately playing the victim to tarnish mom and dad's reputation? Were the 18 years of being raised in wealth and comfort a mistake? I spoke quickly and reacted swiftly, catching Olivia James off guard. Her tears were still wet on her face as she looked at me in stunned disbelief. Mom looked at her with disappointment. Olivia, ever since Lucy returned, we've treated you and her equally, never favoring one over the other. We've noticed you repeatedly trying to drive a wedge between us and Lucy. But we thought you were just struggling to come to terms with your true identity, so we turned a blind eye to your behavior. We never expected that our leniency would lead to you treating my daughter with such malice. As more and more people gathered to watch, Olivia James was left speechless. The homeroom teacher, worried about the negative impact, quickly dispersed the crowd and urged us to resolve the matter privately behind closed doors. Olivia James was also quick to adapt. Seeing that her parents weren't buying her act, she quickly changed her strategy, grabbing her mother's sleeve and sobbing softly. I'm sorry, Mom, it's all my fault. I didn't realize your good intentions. I know I was wrong, and from now on, I will get along well with my sister and never compete for attention again. Her words were sincere and heartfelt, and her mother couldn't help but soften. She sighed, turned her face away, and couldn't bring herself to say anything more. William James stepped forward to help her up and said sternly, "Then remember what you said today. The James family is a prominent and wealthy household in J City, and we can afford to raise 2 daughters. We share a blood bond with Lucy, and you have been part of our family for over a decade. We will not favor one over the other. From now on, the 2 of you must get along well and not let others laugh at us." Her father nodded repeatedly and said nothing more. Olivia James hung her head, adopting a docile and obedient posture. I hope she can honestly coexist peacefully with me. This weekend, my mother plans to take me to buy some clothes and jewelry. Since I came back, I've been going straight to classes and haven't had time to shop for anything. A large part of my spacious wardrobe is still empty. The James family was wealthy and influential. The 5 of them went on a shopping spree along Central Avenue, buying loads of clothes, bags, and jewelry. This is my first time visiting a luxury store, and the dazzling array of jewelry in the display window is simply blinding. I think of the silver bracelet my adoptive mother has worn for decades, and my gaze falls on a gold bracelet. Mom notices my gaze. "Do you like this one?" I shake my head. "I want to buy it for my adoptive mother. Is that okay?" Mom was taken aback. "After bringing you back, your dad and I sent a monthly allowance to your adoptive mother. We even asked if she wanted to come to J City to live with you, but she didn't agree." I lowered my head and smiled. "They are simple farmers and would never feel comfortable coming here to eat and drink for free. As the saying goes, fallen leaves return to their roots. They've lived there their whole lives. That place is their home." My adoptive parents were very poor, but they truly loved me and treated me well. In the village, very few children were able to finish middle school, partly because families couldn't afford it and partly because they believed education was useless. But my adoptive parents insisted that education was the only way to change one's fate. They worked tirelessly, sacrificing everything to support my studies, which is how I was able to attend high school. My adoptive mother always wore a silver bracelet. It was a wedding gift from her mother and her only piece of jewelry. She never received any proper gifts in her life, so I wanted to give her this gold bracelet to make her happy. As she listened, my mother couldn't help but wipe away tears again. "It's only right. She raised you so well. She deserves any gift you give her." The heavy gold bracelet was handed to me in an exquisitely packaged box. I smiled gratefully and carefully placed it in my bag, but as I did, my hand brushed against something cold inside the bag. I paused for a moment, glanced down, and immediately understood, though I kept my expression neutral. After my brother paid the bill, Olivia James and I, one on each side, linked arms with Mom as we walked out of the store. Just then, the security alarm at the entrance started beeping. I halted in my tracks and narrowed my eyes slightly. The counter clerk quickly walked over, her expression somewhat unusual. "Ma'am, we've detected that there may be unpaid items in your bag. Could you please cooperate with our inspection?" A hint of smugness flashed in Olivia James's eyes. "Oh my, how could this happen? Is the machine broken? Our James family isn't so poor that we can't afford a few pieces of jewelry. Mother's face flushed with anger. I think your instrument must be faulty too. How many times have I shopped at this store? Do you really think I can't afford your jewelry? Olivia James glanced at me with a troubled expression, hesitating as if she wanted to say something but held back. I calmly retorted, why are you looking at me? If you have something to say, just say it. Olivia James twisted the corner of her clothes anxiously and said, Sister, we're regulars at this store and come here often. There's no need to take anything without paying. I know you had a hard time in the countryside and have never seen such expensive jewelry before, is it? If it's you, just take it out quickly. Okay, so you're implying that I stole the store's jewelry. We've never had anything like this happen before when we came here to shop. The security alarm went off the first time you came. It's hard not to suspect you. Mother's face darkened. Seizing the opportunity, Olivia James added, but I believe my sister wouldn't do such a thing. It's just that the security alarm went off, so I think it's best for her to hand over her bag to the staff for inspection to clear her name. She subtly gave the shop assistant a meaningful glance. The assistant said respectfully, Ma'am, please cooperate with the inspection. Every piece of jewelry here is very valuable, and as an ordinary employee, I can't afford to be held responsible for any theft. I lowered my head and smiled. What if nothing is found? Wouldn't that count as an insult to my dignity? The shop assistant's face tightened, and his eyes involuntarily glanced toward Olivia James again, putting on an act. I couldn't be bothered to deal with them any longer. I opened my bag and turned it upside down with a sudden shake. A few gel pens, a palm-sized vocabulary notebook, and a wrapped bracelet meant for my adoptive mother. That was everything in my bag. Olivia James widened her eyes in disbelief and blurted out, Impossible. What's impossible? You've seen there's nothing unpaid in my bag, and you still want to keep slandering me. Olivia James turned pale, her lips trembling as she stammered, No, I mean, since my sister has never been to a place like this before, you thought that someone like me, coming from a poor, remote village with no sophistication, would definitely be tempted to steal such expensive jewelry. My voice suddenly rose sharply. Isn't that what you were thinking? Poverty breeds deceit, wealth nurtures virtue. Someone like me, a country bumpkin, must be greedy, vain, and morally corrupt. That's what you believe, isn't it? I suddenly stepped forward and slapped Olivia James across the face. Satisfying. My breasts are all clear now. This slap should have been given to you long ago. I never held it against you for taking my identity for over a decade, and since I returned, I've never once provoked you, yet. You treat me as your imaginary enemy every day, spreading rumors, manipulating others, driving wedges between people, and even bullying me at school. I didn't bother with you because I thought you weren't worth my energy, but my tolerance only made you think I'm an easy target to push around, and now you've even resorted to framing me. I'm planning to take the civil service exam in the future. How dare you try to give me a criminal record? Mom and Dad were speechless. William James was speechless. Olivia James was speechless. Ignoring the reactions of those around me, I grabbed Olivia James's bag and, with a loud clatter, dumped everything inside onto the floor. Lip gloss and eyeshadow scattered everywhere, but the most glaring item was the dazzling diamond necklace. Olivia James stared blankly, muttering to herself, Impossible. How could this be? I threw her bag aside. So the thief is the precious Olivia James. Impossible, Olivia James screamed. You framed me. It must be you. I didn't steal anything, I retorted sharply. The necklace was found in your bag, and you still claim you didn't steal it. Who would believe that? It wasn't me. How did this necklace end up in my bag? I clearly put this necklace into your bag myself. Oh, I suddenly understood. So it was you who put it in my bag. Mom and Dad's faces turned extremely grim. William James took a step back abruptly, looking disappointed. Olivia, how could you become like this? So it really was you framing Lucy. Olivia James turned deathly pale. With no way to defend herself, I pointed to the surveillance camera at the entrance of the boutique across the street. Even though you colluded with the shop assistant to frame me, I doubt I can check the surveillance footage from this store. But couldn't you have been a bit smarter? The surveillance from the shop across the street must have captured the entire process of you setting me up. Should we call the police now to see how this necklace ended up in your bag? Olivia James's legs gave way, and she instantly collapsed to the ground. Dad also lost his temper. Olivia James, you've let me down so much. After more than a decade of careful upbringing, I never thought I'd raise someone so malicious, daring to frame your own sister like this. She is not my sister. Something in those words must have struck a nerve, as Olivia James glared at me viciously. Why did you have to come back? Why couldn't you just die in that godforsaken place? The moment you returned, you started taking away the love of mom, dad, and my brother. As the daughter of a human trafficker, how am I supposed to face anyone? So it's my fault now. It was your mother who stole the child. Not only are you the beneficiary, but no one in the James family has blamed you for it, from start to finish. I'm the one who's been the most innocent, right? How dare you act like the victim and accuse me of not deserving to return to the life that was always mine, William James muttered quietly, as expected of someone from S Province. Truly a promising candidate for the civil service exam, Olivia James was eventually sent abroad. My parents decided to only cover her living expenses until she completes her university education. She shouldn't even think about the family assets. The shop assistant she bribed to slander me will likely be blacklisted from the industry. William James apologized to me with a face full of guilt. Considering he hadn't actually done anything to harm me, I didn't hold it against him. To be honest, I'm quite busy, especially since the college entrance exam is just around the corner. My parents were very surprised when they found out that I want to take the civil service exam and pursue a career in politics. But I really have no interest in business. My older brother has been groomed as the family successor, and with him around, the James family won't decline. As for me, I want to pursue the ideals I've always held, to be someone useful to society. Material comforts won't diminish my long-standing determination to contribute to the development of my hometown. After hearing the first story above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Next, there is another similar story. Let's continue to see. Shocking news. My dream has come true. My best friend is actually the long-lost true heiress of the Green family. If you become rich and powerful, don't forget about me. My best friend didn't forget me. She hired me at a high price to be her study companion. Rich people are just different. They even have study companions. Actually, she had me take over her identity to deal with the Green family. My best friend ranked in the top 3 in the province for the college entrance exam and is completely focused on her studies. Recently, she's been busy with experiments and has no time to deal with them. I, a simple-minded, physically strong sports student, transferred to one of the world's top 5 universities, a place teeming with geniuses. I somehow ended up stumbling into this elite world and managed to make my way in. I thought I was about to start a perfect life with wealth and leisure. The fake heiress showed up at my door. She tried to hit me right away. Wendy, you illegitimate child, how dare you move into my house? It's all because of you that mom and dad are fighting. I'll teach you a lesson. I was quick with my eyes and feet, and I kicked the person flying out. At the same time, I finally realized what she meant. She still doesn't know that she is a fake heiress. The Green family has really protected her well. It seems that novels are also realistic literature. Wendy and I were called back to the Green family, where the fake heiress tearfully threw herself in front of a woman to complain. Mom, it's her. A bastard child actually dared to hit me. You must teach her a lesson for me. She pointed at me, looking utterly aggrieved. Mrs. Green explained awkwardly. Emily, she is your twin sister who was lost before and has just been found. She's not an illegitimate child. Don't talk nonsense. I widened my eyes and turned to look at Wendy. I signal. Is she crazy? Her own biological daughter is being called a bastard, and she can calmly explain it to the fake heiress. Explain what the hell? We've reached this point, and she still won't mention the baby swap, knowing how much the Green family dotes on the fake heiress. If this is how it is at the first meeting, how will we get through the days ahead? Fortunately, I claimed the identity. The mother and daughter were enjoying themselves happily, while Wendy was lost in thought beside them. Watching this scene made me feel sorry for Wendy, and my anger flared up. I had initially intended to endure it. After all, this was the Green family's matter and had nothing to do with me, an outsider. Although I'm now taking Wendy's place, it's frustrating to see, but for the sake of money, I can still endure it. But the fake heiress is going too far. She just won't let it go. Mom, I don't believe it. How come I've never heard that I have a twin sister? I think you're just too soft-hearted. Even when the mistress comes to your doorstep, you still want to raise her child. Anyway, I won't acknowledge her. She kept using words like illegitimate child and mistress, yet Mrs. Green didn't even get angry. She even wants Emily and me to get along well. I tugged on Wendy's arm. She finally snapped out of it. What time is it already, Wendy? You need to be more careful. I gestured with my lips toward the mother and daughter who were acting as if no one else was around. Look. What should we do? Wendy shook her head indifferently. She whispered close to my ear. I was mentally prepared. But if they go too far, you help me teach them a lesson. Knowing she had a plan in mind put me at ease. But her next words made me have to admire her. If it really comes to it, it's fine to just break off relations. After all, I've already made use of the Green family. And whether I stay here or not doesn't matter to me. Having the strength is truly impressive. The Green family's money was given up without a second thought. If it were me, I wouldn't have been able to let it go. Over there, the mother and daughter finally finished their conversation. Only then did Mrs. Green snap back to reality, feeling embarrassed and guilty as she took my hand. Wendy, don't take it to heart with Emily. I've spoiled her, with Wendy's assurance. I couldn't be bothered to pretend. I pulled my hand back without giving them any face. All right, did you call me back just to watch you two have a mother-daughter bonding moment? Back then, when you kept my identity a secret for her sake and had me live outside, I said we should treat each other as distant relatives in the future. Don't call me back unless it's important. I'm very busy. After saying that, I grabbed Wendy and was about to leave. At the door, we happened to run into Mr. Green returning. There are also two tall and handsome young men behind him. Those are Wendy's two older brothers. When they saw Emily looking wronged, they immediately cast unfriendly glances at me. Did you tell them what happened? How could you be so malicious? Let me tell you, even if Emily isn't the Green family's daughter, I still won't acknowledge you. I rolled my eyes. What a waste of such a handsome face. He's just a complete idiot. Yes, we only recognize Emily, Mrs. Green turned around in shock to comfort the disbelieving Emily. I looked at Wendy sympathetically and pulled her to leave. Then, I was stopped by the three people who had just come in, and they demanded that I apologize to Emily. Unbelievable. If this can be tolerated, what cannot? They didn't even bother to find out what kind of person I, Mia, am. Do you really think I, Mia, am easy to bully? What the hell did I do wrong that I have to apologize to an imposter who has enjoyed a good life for over 20 years at my expense? If you all dote on her so much, why did you even bring me back? Since you look down on me, let's just pretend the baby mix-up never happened from now on. I gave them a contemptuous once-over, rolling my eyes as if looking at a lunatic. I stood with my hands on my hips, full of disdain and mockery. What a bunch of lunatics. Not doting on their own child and treating a fake like a treasure is one thing, but why did they even bother with a paternity test in the first place? Why did they bring me back? They must have had too much time on their hands. Completely unnecessary and a waste of time. Humph, my attitude angered them, and they stopped comforting Emily. Point at me, Wendy, how dare you? My eldest brother angrily grabbed my arm. I struggled in pain but couldn't break free, so I stepped on his foot, wrapped my arms around his shoulders, and drove my knee upward. He recoiled in pain, clutching his stomach and unable to stand up. Emily ran in front of her elder brother, tears streaming down her face like pear blossoms in the rain, yet she stood firm to protect him, refusing to step aside. She looked straight at me and said with grievance, Wendy, I'm sorry, I only just found out the truth. Please don't hit my brother, it's my fault. If you're angry, take it out on me. Seeing them so deeply in love, I couldn't help but think of those cliché plot twists in novels. Could there be something going on between Brother Daniel and this Emily? I can't keep my thoughts to myself. Whatever comes to mind, I say it out loud. Looking at you two, anyone would think I'm trying to tear apart a pair of star-crossed lovers. I smacked my lips. However, even though you two are no longer blood-related siblings now, don't forget that your household registration hasn't been transferred out yet. The Green family hasn't informed me of my identity either. If this gets out TSK tisk TSK, thrilling, enough. The more you talk, the more absurd it gets. Are you happy now that things have turned out like this? Mrs. Green shot an annoyed glance. She sympathetically helped Emily and the other person up. I retorted defiantly, what? Are you so ashamed that you're angry now, just now? Emily called me a bastard and called you a mistress, and you weren't angry. I just stated a fact. So why are you so mad? Mrs. Green came up to me and raised her hand to hit me. I instinctively dodged. The anger I had been suppressing suddenly erupted. What do you mean, you want to hit me? Since I was little, my mom, Aunt Lisa, has never hit me. The words slipped out before I could stop them, and I quickly covered my mouth. almost giving myself away. Thankfully, I reacted quickly. Mrs. Green stumbled and nearly fell. Wendy's mother, who is the culprit, she was originally the nanny of the Green family and, out of jealousy towards Mrs. Green, swapped the children. She treated Wendy very poorly. She has now been sent to the police station and sentenced to 5 years in prison. Now that I think about the Green family's attitude, I seriously suspect that the reason they sent her to prison was to prevent her from taking Emily away. The guilt I had just felt vanished in an instant. Especially when I saw the frown on Wendy's face. Mr. Green frowned and looked at his wife disapprovingly. Men are more rational than women. He took control of the situation. All right, let's stop the commotion. Since Emily already knows, there's no need to hide it anymore. In half a month, we'll hold a banquet and make Wendy's matter public. You've been wronged these past few days. If there's anything you want, I'll do my best to fulfill it. My eyes lit up. I turned to look at Wendy. And only after seeing her nod slightly did I speak. I want the Green family shares. As for how much, you decide. Mr. Green's smile froze on his face. Wendy, this is no small matter. You're a girl and you didn't study management. I interrupted him. Does not studying management mean I can't have shares? I just think it's not too much to ask for some dividends. While Mr. Green was deep in thought, second brother stepped forward and launched into a round of accusations. Wendy, I don't even have shares, so why should you, a woman, get any? Besides, if we were to give shares to anyone, it would be to Emily. Who do you think you are? I chuckled. The words were spoken lightly, but the sarcasm was heavy. You're right. Who do I think I am? Emily is your treasure. If you're going to give it to anyone, it should be her, an outsider. Oh, I forgot to mention, I didn't expect you to be sexist. No wonder you weren't given any shares. The most important industry of the Green family is in the cosmetics field. You've got some nerve, Mr. Green. Seeing that we were about to argue again, scolded Jacob. With a calm attitude, he said to me, Wendy, I can't give you the Green family shares. If you want them, you'll have to earn them yourself. However, if you just want a monthly allowance, I can give you 1 million per month for living expenses. How does that sound? Having read too many novels, I don't even bat an eye at 1 million. After all, I'm already a wealthy heiress. Is this 1 million meant to be given to a beggar? Forget about a dozen small goals. Just give me one small goal. Is that too much to ask? Don't worry about whether I can spend it all or not. It's the attitude I'm after. It seems they still don't take Wendy seriously. Mr. Green noticed my dissatisfaction and doubled the offer by raising 2 fingers. 2 million. I sarcastically glanced at Emily's neck and earrings. Probably around 10 million, and her watch, ring. Big brother Daniel shielded Emily behind him. Don't even look. The jewelry Emily is wearing only adds up to 8 million, and it's her birthday gift. Usually, her monthly allowance is just 500,000. I laughed mockingly, as if watching a show. Oh, already protecting her. Big brother, you really spoil her. If I remember correctly, you have a girlfriend, right? Tell me, why are you messing with her like this? If you want, I'll be the good guy and help you break the news. You're talking nonsense. Brother Daniel scolded with his words, but his body was honest. After that, he and Emily didn't dare to get within 3 meters of each other. After that, even when I criticized Emily, he didn't step in to defend her. Jacob also didn't dare to get close to Emily. I looked at Mr. Green with satisfaction. Sincere advice. If you don't want to acknowledge me, just say it. I won't shamelessly insist on staying. 10 million. I still want to bargain. Wendy behind me tugged at me. Only then did I give up. All right then. By the way, let's skip all those flashy banquets to avoid putting your Emily through all the trouble. Look, her face has turned pale, and that expression, TSK TSK TSK. Once I get the money, I want to leave. Mr. Green insisted that I stay for a meal. Taking someone's money makes it hard to refuse. And since it was almost noon, it was time to eat. Save where you should, spend where you must. I didn't have the heart to refuse. Jacob saw that Wendy had also stayed behind with me, and though he was originally angry, he immediately became sarcastic. We're having a family meal. What are you, a study companion, doing here? The smile that had appeared due to feeling a bit better about the money immediately vanished. I crossed my arms and mimicked his sarcastic tone. Yeah, our family is having a meal. What is Emily, an outsider, doing here? And she's sitting so close to Mom and Dad. It's really rude. Am I right? Mrs. Green awkwardly and helplessly pulled Emily closer. looking at me with reproach in her eyes. It's confirmed, Mrs. Green is not thinking clearly. After Mr. Green scolded Jacob, he was finally able to eat normally. After eating almost everything, Teacher Wendy called, probably about the experiment, and then left. I continued to enjoy the delicious food. Wendy, I know you girls like sweet things. Emily really likes this dessert. You should try it. I put down my chopsticks after seeing the dessert. How can there be mango in this dessert? Aren't any of you allergic? After I spoke, they looked at each other. Wendy is allergic to mango. I've said this before, but it seems they don't take it seriously, Jacob muttered under his breath, but it was clearly audible in the quiet surroundings. An allergy. Could it be that they knew we're allergic to mangoes and said it on purpose? Emily pretended to be hurt. Wendy, are you still holding a grudge against me? I'm sincerely apologizing to you. This is really delicious. You should try it. This pretentious, green tea tone. I don't believe no one present can't hear it. My expression is already very unpleasant at this moment. Emily looked at me triumphantly, then suddenly exclaimed, ouch, and touched her arm. There was a slight injury from when I kicked her earlier, which scraped a bit of skin. No way, no way. She can't possibly think that playing the victim will make me fall for it. I had made up my mind. Even if she knelt down and kowtowed, I wouldn't take a single bite. Just then, Mrs. Green tried to persuade me. Wendy, we don't know the details, but this is Emily's gesture of goodwill. Having a little bit should be fine, right? I was furious, since I accidentally found out that Wendy can't eat mangoes. There have been no mangoes in my home. Now they actually let Wendy eat them. This is simply murder. Fortunately, I'm not Wendy, otherwise the soft-hearted Wendy would have been bullied by them to who knows what extent. These biological parents are not worth keeping. If we don't perish in silence, we will erupt from it. I picked up the dessert with one hand and walked over to Jacob. The tone was flat. I'm not sure if eating a little bit is okay, so I'll use you all as test subjects. Reach out and grab a handful, stuffing it into Jacob's mouth. After stuffing his mouth, move on to Daniel, then Mrs. Green, and finally Emily. Don't worry, I won't play favorites. I'll go one by one. I have a plan. Finally, he turned his gaze to Mr. Green. He covered his mouth in fright with both hands. It probably won't fit anymore. Only then did I reluctantly put down the dessert. Since you won't let me enjoy this meal, let's just not eat at all. I forcefully flipped the dining table over. The table was quite heavy, but it didn't matter. I grabbed the tablecloth and pulled. Still managing to send the dishes flying, the effect was the same. When I reached the door, I suddenly turned back. If you don't want to acknowledge me, just say so early on. Otherwise, just give me the money, and don't contact me normally. Remember, don't provoke me. As I picked up the coat from the chair, I heard Mrs. Green shouting at Brother Daniel and second brother. Oh my, what happened to your faces? Wendy went too far. She knew you couldn't eat mangoes but still forced them on you. Who knows what's gotten into her? If it weren't for her, her words made me stop in my tracks. I could sense that the Green family simply didn't welcome Wendy. They dote on Emily so much. They could have easily pretended not to know her and acted as if nothing happened. I wonder what hidden reasons lie behind all this. What a pity. Mr. Green cut me off. All right, get him to the hospital quickly. Back at school, I wanted to tell Wendy about how I showed off my skills today and also give her the money, but I ended up falling asleep waiting for her, and she never showed up. I did dream about her, though. In the dream was the first time I met her. At that time, I was in middle school and had transferred to the worst school because of a fight. She was so small, clearly the same age as me, yet a head shorter, curled up and being cornered and beaten. Seeing injustice, I drew my sword to help, and I saved her. I never expected her to be my new neighbor who just moved in. What's even more coincidental is that we're in the same class. Because of the life-saving favor, we became close. I learned that she came from a poor family, had excellent grades, but was forced by Wendy's adoptive mother to attend the worst school because of her brother. As for the well-behaved girl, some classmates couldn't stand her aloof attitude. The teacher always compared others to her. The underachievers didn't dare to confront the teacher, so they took their anger out on Wendy. In just 2 days, I had already fought 3 times for her. My mom knew about Wendy and for the first time praised me for fighting well. I initially felt sympathy for her. Later, because my mom always asked me to bring her breakfast, and she proactively started teaching me how to study, I realized she was a genius, and she deserved a broader world, not to be trapped here. Once, when Wendy's adoptive mother hit her over a trivial matter, I kicked open her door and threatened her, "If I ever hear you hit Wendy again, and she has any marks on her, your son won't get off easy. Don't believe me, just try it. I'm not even 18 yet. So killing someone isn't even a crime for me, be careful. Or I might just kill all of you if I'm in a bad mood." Even though I threatened them, when I got back home, my mom beat me with a feather duster until my butt was swollen. It hurt so much I couldn't sit down, and I had to stand in class for half a month, but the results were remarkable. Wendy's academic excellence made me feel a bit in awe of her. However, her teaching was excellent, and she managed to bring my grades from the bottom of the class to the top 10, of course, in our school. Even being in the top 10 of the class, let alone the top 10 of the grade, probably wouldn't rank anywhere in the province, but my mother was already quite satisfied. 5 years passed just like that. During her senior year of high school, Wendy was noticed by some big shot researching some kind of technology. She told me about it, but I couldn't understand it, let alone remember it. Even now, I still don't understand what exactly she researches. It's confidential, so I don't dare ask. That day, she came back for a rare visit and suggested that I join the military or pursue sports. My parents were listening attentively when someone knocked on the door. It was Mr. Green's personal secretary, looking for Wendy. Thinking of Wendy's need for confidentiality, I impulsively stood up and claimed the identity. I regretted it immediately after standing up. When I found out that Wendy was the long-lost true heiress of the Green family, my mind had already started playing out a grand drama. Just like in all those short series and novels I've watched and read, let me ask you, is that fake one very favored? For such a big matter as recognizing a daughter, sending just a secretary leak you seems way too careless. Could it be that, in order to keep it a secret from the imposter, they just want to brush me off casually? Secretary Lee was left speechless by my questions. I stood up excitedly, about to curse loudly when Wendy stopped me. The Green family is wealthy and influential. Getting you a Tsinghua admission shouldn't be a problem. I was puzzled. With your grades, wouldn't that be a simple and easy task? Wendy looked at me. Here you go. I'm afraid the Green family might bully me. Look, they don't even bother to look at my photos. How neglected I must be. Maybe you could help me deal with them, although I know that the Green family not getting Wendy's photos might be related to the experiment. But Wendy rarely acts spoiled. And I'm also worried she might be bullied, so I asked for a Harvard qualification for my Mia, which is myself. After Secretary Lee agreed, he asked for some basic information and a strand of my hair. I secretly managed to swap places with Wendy. When Secretary Lee was leaving, I specifically emphasized that Wendy is allergic to mangoes. He smiled and replied, "Wendy, don't worry. Your two brothers are also allergic to mangoes. The Green family is very careful about this." Ha, careful my foot. I got so angry that I woke up. Ugh, I should have slapped them a few times. Let's see if they still dare to recognize me, I muttered under my breath, and the more I thought about it, the more I regretted it. The next day, 20 million was deposited into my account. I held Wendy's phone, looked at it again and again, counted it over and over. It was 20 million. Did the Green family feel guilty because I stuffed them with mangoes? It feels so shameless. I feel like the lives of the rich are actually quite ordinary. I've gotten a bit tired of it these past few months. I have no motivation at all in life. The Green family is so disgusting. I can't stay here anymore. Well, after hearing my own thoughts, it seems pretty despicable too. I chuckled at myself in the mirror. Mr. Green called and said he wants to treat me to a meal. Damn, could it be that we've actually developed feelings for each other? I'm definitely going to this meal to see what kind of trap it really is. Actually, just a moment ago, I already figured out why the Green family has been so lenient with me. They're probably interested in Wendy's experiment and her mentor. When you need a favor from someone, you should at least show some concern. Seriously, I pouted as my phone vibrated. Wendy, I was dumbfounded when I opened it. Mia, by the time you see this message, I have already gone with the teacher to a secret laboratory to contribute to the country. We probably won't be able to see each other for the next few decades. I'm really sorry. The patent transfer documents for the Green family that you need are in the desk drawer. I meant to give them to you earlier, but seeing how much you were enjoying your role-playing, I didn't mention it. I know why they want me back. So whether you give them the patents is entirely up to you. Don't worry about me. I've already felt the family affection, and I don't lack it. I'm just grateful that you came into my life. I was stunned for a long time. The Wendy who once needed my protection had already grown up. My heart felt a sense of loss, but my mind was happy for her. But tears still fell uncontrollably. Suddenly, someone knocked on the door. I opened the door with swollen eyes. It was the senior who had worked with Wendy before. He frowned, furious but trying hard to suppress it, and pointed at his phone while questioning me. "You're not Wendy, so who are you?" Curious, I picked up his phone to look, and it really was. The post was a photo of me kicking Emily. I remembered, the person who took the photo was a girl who often followed Emily around. She should be Emily's study companion, but I think she's just a lackey. The post was captioned, "The illegitimate daughter Wendy is too arrogant, assaulting the legitimate child." After reading it, I knew my identity would probably be exposed soon. Sure enough, as I scrolled down, I came across someone who had exposed my identity and even my home address. I know this person. Her name is Mia, not Wendy at all. I heard she used to get into fights in middle school, and I have no idea how she ended up at Harvard. Turns out she's the illegitimate daughter of a wealthy family. No wonder she's so arrogant. The person above probably doesn't know much. Wendy is her close friend, and it was Wendy who secured the spot for her at Harvard. As for Wendy, she ranked in the top 3 in the province on the college entrance exam, and that was just her having fun. Before that, she had already been taken under the wing of a top researcher, and her identity has been kept confidential for the past 2 years. I won't go into how amazing she is. With a friend like that, it's no surprise Mia acts a bit arrogant. I demand that the relevant authorities severely punish this Mia. How can someone get into Harvard just because they're rich or have connections like Wendy? It's not fair. After reading the comment, I felt at a loss. Did I cause trouble for Wendy? Harry grabbed my arm angrily. Is this comment true? Why aren't you saying anything? I impatiently shook off his hand and simply admitted it. It's true, my name is Mia. Not Wendy at all. Harry's eyes were red with anger as he gritted his teeth. He barged in, filled with regret and deep affection, looking for Wendy. After searching every room and finding no one, he yelled at me again. "Where's Wendy? I need to talk to her. Did you hide her because your scheme was exposed? You, as her so-called best friend, impersonated her identity, enjoyed the Green family's privileged conditions and affection. You don't deserve to be her friend. It must be you who bullied her into giving up her identity to you. Let me tell you, as long as I'm here, I won't let her suffer any more harm." Harry threatened me. He acted as if he was in charge of Wendy. It made me sick to my stomach. I sneered, crossed my arms, and looked at him with disdain and contempt. "Who are you putting on this act for now? It's really disgusting to watch. Do you really think I don't know who you are?" Harry, Emily's childhood friend, approached me, confessed his feelings, and after winning me over, dumped me, all to get back at Emily. Am I right, to be honest? It's quite melodramatic. While working on experiments together, Wendy developed feelings for Harry after spending time with him. The moment she confided her feelings to me, the very next day Harry came to me with a bouquet of flowers to confess. After reading so many novels over the years, I couldn't help but think of the male lead. If my 2 older brothers are the devoted second male lead and the cannon fodder, then shouldn't the male lead make his appearance? So I secretly had someone investigate Harry, and sure enough, I uncovered his relationship with Emily. I didn't hold back at all and showed no respect to that scumbag who almost ruined the friendship between us best friends. Wendy's fondness for him completely vanished when she accidentally overheard him bragging to his friends while he was treating me to a meal. He said he would chase after me and then dump me. Wendy looks quite proud, and she has a good figure. It must be fun to play with her. "Harry, can you let us have a turn too?" "Sure, but I don't think she'd be interested in you." Harry's response made Wendy dislike him. After that, Wendy became extremely busy. I now seriously suspect that it was because of him that Wendy chose to go to the National Confidential Research Institute with her mentor. Thinking about it, we already disliked each other, and it only took a spark for us to start fighting. Our commotion attracted a lot of onlookers, and a group of people even started live streaming with their cameras. After I took a punch to the face and a kick to the stomach, it ended with Harry breaking his hand and completely losing the ability to fight. The first thing I saw when I stood up was Emily, who had arrived at some point without me noticing. She wanted to help Harry up, but when she met my gaze, she froze in fear and didn't dare to come closer. I snorted coldly and set Harry's bone. Harry didn't dare to move again. I stood up and spat out a mouthful of bloody foam fiercely. My mouth twitched, the pain making me flinch, and I suppressed my smile. I just wanted to take this opportunity to clarify, but the person who was live streaming actually chickened out and wanted to put away their phone. Don't turn it off, keep the live stream going. How many people are watching? The person answered, trembling. About 30,000 or so. I don't know if these people count as many. After giving the instruction to remember to record the screen, she started talking on her own. Hello everyone, my name is Mia. First of all, let me clarify, I am not the illegitimate daughter of the Green family. I have absolutely no connection to the Green family whatsoever. As for why I was able to get into Harvard, you'll need to listen to a story. This was an accident, a man-made accident. If you want me to continue, quickly bring more people over. I kept them in suspense. Mainly because I felt quite tired, so I just sat down. I looked at Emily with a provocative and smug expression, her face pale with fear. I pointed at her and told the streamer's classmate to switch the camera over. Alright, everyone, come back quickly, look at this person. I'm sure you all know she's the heiress of the Green family. Have you ever seen the story of the switched at birth heiress? Yes. She was actually the fake heiress who was mistakenly swapped. Her mother used to work as a nanny for the Green family, and perhaps out of jealousy toward Mrs. Green, she switched the babies. Her mother was punished and ended up in prison. I slapped my thigh, feeling excited and even thrilled, saying, here comes the dramatic twist. The Green family found their real heiress, and she turned out to be my best friend, Wendy. But that day, it was just a secretary who showed up, completely unaware of the situation. I later found out that they were afraid the fake heiress would find out, so none of them came, and I, at that time, afraid that Wendy would be bullied, stood up and falsely claimed the identity. That bunch of fools only met me once until now, and it was because the fake heiress thought I was an illegitimate daughter and came to beat me up, then went home to complain. The Green family must already know. They've been on the phone constantly. I simply ignored it, turned it off directly. You have no idea, the first time I had a meal with them, I specifically emphasized that Wendy couldn't eat mangoes, and their whole family is allergic to mangoes too. Guess what happened? I paused for a moment and continued, that's right, just as you thought. They specially prepared a mango dessert for me and even urged me to eat it. Aren't they trying to harm someone? The audience's emotions were stirred up, and the barrage was flooded with comments cursing the Green family. When the scolding had mostly subsided, I pointed at Harry again and continued to spill the beans. Many of you might not know who I just hit. He is Emily's childhood sweetheart. Here comes another dramatic twist. Many at my school probably know that Harry has been pursuing me, however. Wendy and I once overheard him saying he wanted to get back at the fake heiress by pursuing me, only to dump me harshly afterward. I sighed, watching Harry press his thin lips tightly together. My heart is filled with joy. I still want to continue mocking Harry. Mr. Green came running over. Wendy, no, Mia, well done. How dare you? Even if the corner of my mouth hurts, I still laugh heartily. I even felt so excited that my heart raced. At the Green's house, I think the most hypocritical one is him. Wendy told me that the study companion follows Mr. Green's orders, so she occasionally receives calls from Mr. Green, who subtly inquires about my experiments at school. This post is most likely because Mr. Green sees me as difficult to control, so he wants me to experience the taste of being cyberbullied. This is no way to treat a daughter. Even an enemy wouldn't be treated much worse. Therefore, when I saw him, a feeling of vengeance and the desire to crush his schemes spread through me. Mr. Green, Wendy has already transferred the patents under her name to me. Your attitude has left me very dissatisfied. After the initial shock, Mr. Green quickly composed himself. He walked over to the student who was live streaming and demanded that he shut down the live stream, which already had over 100,000 viewers. He also stated that no videos about what happened to me today should be reposted. The student looked at me, and only after I nodded in agreement did he reluctantly turn it off. I'll split today's live stream earnings with you. After saying that, he pretended to be dead and stopped talking. Mr. Green clearly didn't want to be stared at like a monkey, so he pulled me, Harry, and Emily into the room and closed the door. Without another word, he immediately started asking about the patent. I'm not stupid, and I won't be so carried away as to take out the transfer document. I treated whatever he asked as if it went in one ear and out the other. Fiddling with my fingers and looking at the decorations in the room. I'm talking to you. I looked up blankly, looking at him with an innocent expression. She almost made him furious. Harry regretted it. When he was doing experiments with Wendy, Why didn't he pay attention to her name? It was also because he was too self-centered, thinking that others called her Wendy as a nickname. He looked up at me with resentment in his eyes, thinking about what I had said to him. Wendy and I are best friends. We often use each other's names as nicknames. I call her Wei, and she calls me Mia. What, do you have a problem with that? He felt so foolish, completely fooled by me, wondering why he hadn't noticed that loophole earlier. Mia, stop playing dumb. Where is Wendy? I calmly stated. You're also from the lab, so you should know about the National Secret Laboratory. Harry couldn't handle the shock and stumbled back, collapsing into the sofa. I muttered under my breath, TCH, who are you putting on this sentimental act for now? You sure know how to pick a spot. Why not just sit on the ground? Emily looked at the dazed Harry with pity. Brother Harry, what's wrong with you? I couldn't help but interject. Are you blind? He's heartbroken. He doesn't like you anymore. He's shifted his affection to Wendy. Serves you right for using a honey trap. You lost both the battle and the prize, Mr. Green initially favored Emily. Partly because of Harry, now, with everything in chaos, his headache has grown even worse. Now, he only hopes that Emily can regain control over Harry's heart. With all his plans slipping out of his control, he couldn't help but grow anxious. He had originally thought that Wendy, having grown up in such an environment, would be so moved by even a little bit of his care that she would hand over everything. He asked himself if he hadn't treated Wendy well enough. Wasn't providing her with a house and money sufficient? As for Emily, after so many years of investment, he couldn't just let it all go to waste. Besides, she was just a girl with no shares in the Green family. If his wife doted on her, so be it. He just needed to have a word with Wendy, and Wendy should understand. I didn't expect that it was wrong from the very beginning. He looked at me, forced a smile, suppressed the endless regret in his heart, and threatened, Mia. I can overlook the fact that you hit Harry and forced your brothers to eat mangoes, but you must give the patent usage rights to the Green family. Of course, I won't shortchange you on the money. Who are you trying to scare? If Harry and I count as a group fight, then Harry threw punches too, even if I have to take responsibility in the end. Do you really think I can't afford the medical expenses? Not to mention I even set his broken bone for him, also. Who can testify about the Green family's eldest and second child eating mangoes? Besides, didn't they say themselves that eating a little bit shouldn't matter? What's the big deal? I was just satisfying their curiosity, proving that even eating a little bit does matter. Is it wrong for me to help others? No matter how you look at it, I'm in the right, okay? Besides, as I said before, I can afford to pay for those medical expenses. Just now, when Mr. Green gave me 20 million. I made sure he marked it as a voluntary gift. It was mentioned in the novel, and I'm not stupid. I wasn't scared at all. I opened the door and saw them out. Look up the Green family's archenemy online. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, Jacob suddenly called. I didn't want to answer, but I accidentally pressed the accept button. As soon as the video call connected, a funny face appeared on the screen. Swollen lips and a puffy face paired with narrow eyes, along with the yellow hair on his head, made me burst out laughing. It couldn't help but remind me of a cartoon animal. Cartoons and anime can be realistic too. Mia, you bitch, just you wait. I snapped my phone shut, blocked them. In the evening, the things I said today still ended up spreading online and even made it to the hot search list. As for the Green family, it's bizarre that they could mistake someone else for their own biological daughter, and even more so that they treat the fake heiress better than their real daughter. It's truly astonishing. All they can do is condemn the Green family on moral grounds. Of course, there are also some people who express understanding of the Green family's actions, which has made the online discussions even more intense. Later, it revealed how amazing Wendy is. Some netizens speculated with a conspiracy theory that the Green family might have known about the true and fake heiresses all along. But since Wendy had no value to them, they never acknowledged her. It wasn't until her senior year of high school when she started applying for patents that they wanted to bring this incredible talent back. Many people liked this speculation. The Wendy incident online is getting bigger and bigger, and the authorities have started directly deleting comments. However, this does nothing to stop netizens from discussing the big shot, Wendy. In fact, it has made them even more excited. They use letters or terms like female boss to refer to her name. The Green family's stock plummeted for a time, and I was considered the luckiest person, especially when I authorized the patent to the Brown family, the rival of the Green family, and became the spokesperson for their brand. It reached its peak. That day, while shopping, I ran into Daniel arguing with a woman. Well, it was just the woman doing all the talking. You're still protecting this imposter. Before, when she was your sister, I tolerated it. Now she dares to be sarcastic and point fingers at me, and you're just standing there like you're deaf, and you're still protecting her. Sometimes I really wonder if you two are the couple, and I'm just the third wheel. Emily clung to Daniel's arm like a little bird, and the two of them looked very intimate. I can't help but wonder if there's really something going on between them. After all, she is a well-educated woman. After saying her piece, she didn't cling to the argument like a shrew, but her eyes were filled with disappointment. It was only then that Daniel spoke. Stop making a scene. There's a limit to jealousy. The woman's heart was completely broken. Let's break up. After saying that, he left. I was watching from the side and didn't miss the smugness and scheming on Emily's face. Not long after, I heard that Harry also applied to join the secret lab, but his application was rejected because his family wouldn't let him go. After that, he dated a woman who looked very much like Wendy. However, she only resembled her in appearance. Her intelligence was far inferior. Harry was meticulous and nitpicky, not only enrolling her in many classes but also personally guiding her through experiments. He aimed for her to reach the level of applying for patents, just like Wendy. I think that woman is also terribly unlucky. If she had that ability, would she be kept by Harry? No wonder Emily wants to give up on Harry. Without Wendy's intelligence, encountering Harry is like meeting the king of hell himself. As an academic underachiever, I feel shivers down my spine. Fortunately, I don't like Harry. Fortunately, Harry doesn't like me either. The next time I heard Emily's name was when she got engaged to Daniel. I heard that Mrs. Green was almost driven to her grave with anger. Mr. Green blames everyone and everything but himself, so he puts all the blame on Mrs. Green. They have small arguments every 3 days and big fights every 5 days. There is never a peaceful day, and everyone is laughing at them. Jacob, on the other hand, is much more composed and has started studying seriously. I heard he has intentions of competing for the Green family's position. At this moment, Mr. Green's illegitimate child was suddenly exposed. He is already 18 years old. This was all thanks to me. When someone was investigating whether I was Mr. Green's illegitimate daughter, they accidentally uncovered this illegitimate son. Jacob probably started making plans for himself after finding out. In any case, the Green family probably won't have peace from now on. Fate works in mysterious ways. I met Daniel's girlfriend, Fiona, when we were both investing in the adaptation of a novel into a film or TV series, and we became friends. I was very interested in the novel. And it turned out she was the author, writing exactly the kind of stories I love to read. What a coincidence. It said online that I am the luckiest, and indeed, I am heaven's favorite daughter. Even more coincidentally, my favorite second male lead was written by Fiona based on her eldest brother. This, on the day of my engagement, everyone online was lamenting how unfair heaven is. I want my happy life. I regret that Wendy couldn't see my happy moments. Heaven truly favors me. But I hope it will also take good care of Wendy. I also hope she can be happy. After hearing the 2 stories above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Looking forward to hearing from you. If you liked this story, don't forget to like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.